All right, ladies and gentlemen, we are back with part two of the Freedom Draft Grades. In the first video, we did 3 rounds. In this video, we have 4 rounds. Well, we're starting on round 4. Hopefully, we can do 4 rounds. Hopefully, we can do a little bit more. Let me start my timer before I forget. Uh, okay, I got my timer going. I'm going to go ahead and take my medicine real quick. We're going to start with Dan's pick. So, Dan, your last pick was Travis Hunter. This pick is Rashee Rice. You start off the 4th round with Rashee Rice. In the background, by the way, we're going to have what teams? Texans and Bears. Those are the fans. Okay, there we go. So, we're going to have Texans at home. Well, actually, we're going to make it the
Sorry, you
Super
guys
Bowl.
have to watch that.
I know it's a poverty team, but we got 2 Bears fans and 2 Texans fans, so we're gonna have those in the background. I'm gonna throw the share screen for you, Dan, just in case if you want to watch it as well. It's gonna be a whole lot of poverty, though. I mean, I don't know why you would do this to yourself. I'm gonna make it a Super Bowl. You know that's never happening.
Oh
Uh,
god.
all right, so you got your pick, Rashee Rice here. Interesting pick here because if you would have flipped it around. Nah, I'm not even going. I'm going great. The picks are the same. So Rice in the 4th round is the same as Hunter at the 312. All right. So I'm like, Rice in round 4 sounds like a great value. I love me some Rashee Rice, but I mean it's the same thing as 312. Uh, so Rice, I got as an A minus. I'm gonna go with.
I'm as A minus two. I think he has wide receiver one potential based off when he's played before.
Mhm.
I don't see it changing. I think Kelsey slows down. Um, I think Worthy probably gets more play, but Rashee Rice is going to get more targets, more catches, more touchdowns.
So we
So I
agree
don't
on
mind
that one.
taking him right here. I also think that right here is like a tier gap.
I do
So I
agree
feel
with
like
that.
I had to take Rashee.
I do agree. So after that, I want to tell you about the person you thought about trading. I mean, not trading. The other person you thought about taking there. You remember that person? Or at least the person you told me.
Oh, Trevion Henderson?
Travion Henderson. We're going to get to that part a little bit later in the draft. But now we're going on to the next person. And that is. My bad. I'm on the wrong draft one. Let's go back to
Dom with
Freedom.
T. Higgins.
Dom with T. Higgins. There we go. Thank you. I'm loading back in. Cool. So Dom with T. Higgins. T. Higgins to me is too early. I think T. Higgins as a wide receiver two gets drafted as a ceiling here. So we're going to get to the other wide receiver two that went a couple picks later or a few picks later. But T. Higgins, we've seen what he is most of his career, and that's like a 13 point per game guy. Uh, he had 222 points this year, and that's with him missing 5 games. That is almost more points than he had in his maybe best season in fantasy in 2022, where he played all 17. He had 223 points. So like, and that was still with Burrow and Chase on the side and all that. As a contract year for Higgins. Now, granted, there's a situation where Higgins and that defense is so bad where they still should be putting up a lot of points and all that, but I don't think he's going to be averaging 18 fantasy points per game. Dan, do you?
Yeah.
Uh,
I
mhm.
think it's within the realm of possibilities. I'd give it like a 20% shot.
18? I think 18 is outlandish. I mean, Chase just got the triple crown.
I just feel like nothing in their situation changed. So I don't see anything changing from last season.
Here's why. He had 10 touchdowns last year. And like I said, he only played 12 games. That's almost a touchdown a game average. His
Yeah.
next highest year, he had 7 touchdowns, and he played all 17 games that year. If he gets another 10 touchdowns, I mean, I could see that
So what do
happening,
we
but he got to play all 17. But
I just feel like if people have Burrow as high, they have to have the receiver.
mm. So what about George Pickens? That's why I know it's different because like Higgins just produced at
Higgins
an insane
is
level, but like Dak is low.
I feel
You
like
sound trying to say?
Higgins is less talented, but
Oh, that's fair. Okay.
I
Uh,
don't know. I just see T it being the same thing. Like I think the defense gives up 30 points a game.
Dang.
And you're going to love T when he's there, but he's going to be gone for 5 to 7 games. So get ready.
Yeah. Caleb Williams going stupid right now. What the heck am I watching? But
I
I'm gonna
think
give it a B.
I'm going to give it a B.
All
Yeah.
right, so we agree. Now we're going on to our next pick. Our next pick is Teteroa McMillan, the rookie. Round 4, Montana takes.
I think Montana has done well of taking best value through the first 3 rounds. I think this is another best value pick. Simply because I like him better than any receiver on the board still. I don't think he should take a quarterback right here.
You don't think
And Sam
Baker was a
Laporta,
good pick here?
no, because I think Ted's okay.
Okay.
Um, Ted has a chance to be a wide receiver 1 in the future as well,
I agree.
based off draft capital and everything. I'm gonna give it a B plus.
I agree. I agree with that wholeheartedly. I got him above T. Higgins because the number one aspect where Higgins' ceiling will always be capped by Jamar Chase.
Yeah,
So if Chase misses time, then all right, Higgins to the moon, whatever. But like we know, Higgins probably will never be a top 5 fantasy wideout. Have there ever been 2 top 5 fantasy wideouts on the same team? I had to go look into that. That'd be interesting.
yeah, I don't know.
But I don't think Higgins will ever be top 5, so his ceiling is capped. It's tough for T-Mac to
Yeah,
get there, but he could get there. Who knows?
yeah.
Now we go over to Kyler Murray. Britt went Kyler Murray here. He stacked it with Trey McBride. So Trey McBride was a 2nd-round pick. He went Kyler here. And I told Britt not to force the stack, and he did it here. And then after he made the pick, he kind of regretted it and said, "Yeah, I should not have forced the stack." He said he should have went Baker over Kyler, and I do agree with that. Are you a Baker or Kyler guy?
I'm just not a Kyler guy. I think he's overrated, low, short.
Wow.
You just got to go to COD, bro. Just retire
Oh
and go to
my
COD.
goodness gracious. Wow. Uh,
Um,
his second quarterback.
I will say that I think Baker. I like Baker. I like Goff. I like Purdy over Kyler.
Hmm.
Um, but I don't mind the pick simply because I don't like the receivers, running backs, or tight ends after.
I agree with that as well. The only running back, it would be Brees Hall or Henderson for me. Maybe
Yeah.
those two. But if you take Kyler or go any quarterback over him, I'm cool with it. So like I said, I don't mind the pick either. I'm thinking B plus here for Britt.
I'm gonna give it a B.
B. All right. So all right. And now we're going on to our next one. What is it? By the way, I'm putting the grades in. I forgot to do that for the first one, so I'm gonna go rewatch the video. I forgot to take the notes. So do if you just look at
Slay
it as well.
picked up Devontae Smith with the
Uh,
4-5.
all right. Thought that was a reach.
I think this is the worst pick in the round
Yeah.
by far. Um, I like the younger receivers over him. I think personally he should go where Terry and DJ Moore go.
Let's go look at those picks. Round 6. So Terry McLaurin went 5'9". The Brit. DJ Moore went 6'4". He probably is closer to those picks than. Uh, well, I don't like any of these wideouts really. I like Smitty more than Adunze. I know that sounds crazy. I think Adunze, it comes down to a Lad and Marv play where we
Yeah.
seen the safety of Lad and the safety of Smitty. And then you get Adunze, right? Similar, you get Marv. You're swinging for the upside of him being the best wideout on his team, then that being a top 10 wideout in the league, where Smitty doesn't have that same outlook unless AJ Brown misses time or something. So there's that, but I mean, I don't know. I don't like any of these wideouts. Right? I don't think any wideout after Tech should have gone in round 4. So with that being said, though, uh, similar to T. Higgins, where his ceiling is capped, His is worse than T. Higgins in my opinion because at least T. Higgins, I can see the Bengals being a top 5 passing offense on volume
Who do you
and
who do
efficiency.
you think is the better wide receiver one if the wide receiver one went down in there? Like if
Uh,
Chase or AJ Brown went down, who's better? T or
that's
Devontae?
that's a really good question. I would actually go Devontae though. I think his target share would be insane. I don't know. I mean, the Bengals still pass enough, but I don't think. I think Higgins' volume would be the same. That makes sense. Well, I think
Yeah.
Smitty's volume will actually increase. So I think
Yeah, I
Smitty
feel
probably
like
getting
T's
35%.
play
Hmm.
he gets more open looks based off of what Chase does,
Yeah,
not based off his separation ability.
I agree with that.
But I'm gonna have to give this a C.
Dang. Yeah, I'm right there with you. I'm gonna go C plus. I like it. I like Smitty more than you, so there's that. But I'm gonna go C plus. I was not feeling this pick. Now I forgot to say this by the way. He did get the stack with Jalen Hurts, so we brought that up with Britt getting McBride and Kyler. So Hurts and Smitty is a stack, but that's not a stack that's like. That's not a good
Yeah.
stack in my opinion. Neither is the Kyler and McBride one, because McBride just doesn't score touchdowns for whatever reason. But Smitty and Hurts, I don't think Smitty's really gonna be a double digit TD guy that often,
Uh-huh.
if ever. So because I mean, half the Hurts' touchdowns are rushing. Now we're going to the next person, and that is Sam Laporta here. Might take Sam Laporta in the middle of round 4. Third tight end taken overall. Um, and there wasn't another tight end taken. So there's a drought at tight end, basically from end of round 2, McBride 2-9, and then Warren at 6-1, and then Laporta was right here in the middle. So other than that, tight end 2 to tight end 4, there was a gap. I don't think Laporta's good enough for me to break that gap personally. I would rather just wait and get a tight end in that round 6 range. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I think he's in the same tier as Warren and Kittle that went way after him.
I agree. Uh,
Um,
so
I
it
don't
wasn't
want to say
really a
it's a
reach.
bad pick,
Yeah,
but I would just prefer other options.
I agree.
Kind of indifferent to it. I'm gonna give it a B minus.
Let me go see exactly how he closed out the year. I was gonna say C plus. I want to see how he
Did well.
closed it out exactly. I know the first 2 months is awful,
Fantasy playoffs are really good.
really good. Yeah, I like those. So I give him that. Like I said, it is tight end premium, and we gotta see what he's gonna look like without Ben Johnson.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna go B minus as well. So all right, who's next? Typing this in.
Um, got Dylan going with Brees Hall.
Brees Hall here. I think an underrated running back. We've seen him finish as a top 2 running back before in full point PPR, and that's with him not starting off the year that great because he was coming off the ACL injury, so they wanted to ease him back for the first month. Him and Dalvin Cook, wherever. But then once he got the hold of that offense, great season there. Last season wasn't nearly as great. Efficiency running wise went down every year. His catching went down. Zach Wilson was a check down artist, where Aaron Rodgers did check the ball down a lot, but Aaron Rodgers also did pepper Wilson and Adams with a bunch of targets. That's where all the funneling was going. We have to see what Fields does. Mobile quarterbacks normally don't throw to running backs as much as pocket passers, so we had to see what Fields does. But I do think his rushing efficiency will be elite yet again because of the RPOs and the read options and all that. So he averaged 15
So
points per game last year, Dan. Over under
to me, wait, over under what?
on 15 points per game. That's what Brees Hall averaged last year. Over under.
Over, but I'd say like 16.
All right. Now go ahead.
The only thing that concerns me about Brees is the way It seems like the old regime and now the new regime likes the
Hmm.
two running backs after him.
Hmm.
Throughout last season, he was losing snap counts or snaps to Isaiah Davis and Braylon Allen. Um, I do think that continues, and Davis and Allen will have a role, even though it might be small. It's still significant because it's two of
All
them.
right.
To me, this is a hold pick. Like I'm banking on Brees after this year.
You
I
think go
see
to a
him
new team?
getting away from the Jets, going to a better team like a Barkley, like on how he
Mm,
did.
all right. Brees in Dallas.
That would be cool. Or Brees in Chicago.
I can see that one as well. All right.
Uh, I'm gonna give this grade a B.
I'm going B
B.
as well. All right. Now we got Lane Train. He went Quinshawn Judkins here, running back for the Cleveland Browns over Travion Henderson. I thought this was an inaccuracy. I'm a Travion guy.
I'm a Travion guy as well, but I don't. I'm not gonna hate on people for taking Judkins above him.
Mm. I'm gonna have to hate on it, Daniel. I'm gonna have to hate
Okay,
on
so
it.
what about it is there to hate then?
Okay, way worse offense in my opinion. Well, at
Okay,
least O line I will say in Cleveland I think is better than New England. But like
yeah,
I'd rather get the running back for New England because I think they're going to score more touchdowns. I think Henderson's a better prospect. Oh my goodness, bombs away. Fight back, Chicago. Now, I think Henderson is a better prospect for fantasy because he's a better receiving back. And they also didn't draft another running back. So that Dylan Sampson and Judkins, I think, could be very annoying for years to come. You know how Nick Chubb never really was above 60% guy with Stefanski there? I think it could be something like that where Judkins gets 60% and then Sampson gets like 40. But I mean, it's gonna be annoying 40 because maybe Sampson's the third down back or receiving
yeah.
back or something like that. So I mean, now you're banking on what? Rushing volume, rushing efficiency, and rushing touchdowns. I mean, I'm not really too sold on that. We're compared to Henderson. I think after this year when Stevenson's gone, oh my goodness. Oh, I think he gets wicked. And I think you agree with that too, though, Dan, because I don't think you trade up to get Judkins. I mean, you made a trade for you to go up and get Henderson. You're not going up
Yeah.
to get Judkins, are you? I don't think so. I
No.
think, yeah, I think you know. There needs to be a Henderson over Judkins. To me, when I did the legacy thing, it was a top five pick and then like a tier break.
Do you think if
Mm-hmm.
Judkins were to get 80% of the snaps, like, how would you feel about that?
Oh, that changed my opinion. If you got 80%, that changed my opinion about him. Even offense, I believe to be super bad. 'Cause I think the Browns scored the fewest points last year. I asked Montana that question. I forgot what the correct answer was, but like Browns, if they didn't score the fewest points, they were right there with
Yeah.
like 15 points per game. Awful. Uh, so I mean, I don't know how high that goes up with the quarterbacks they brought in, but 80% even in a bad offense is really good volume. Uh, like I said, I'm gonna probably give this a B minus. I'm gonna go B minus.
Um, I think he's the same level as Hall. I'm gonna give him a B for right now.
All right. And now we got next pick. That is,
Jonathan Taylor to Bull or to Chris,
yeah.
part of that pick swap.
Yeah, they did a pick swap, and Chris went JT here. And JT closed out the season really well after he dropped the ball at the 1 yard line. Clutch during the fantasy playoffs. Now, he might get a quarterback upgrade. I'm not sure exactly. It's tough to tell. But I think their offense should be better. With the addition of Tyler Warren, Daniel Jones maybe might be a better passer. So you got to respect that a little bit more than Anthony Richardson. Uh, hmm. JT, I like him. I'm gonna go. I like him more than. Ah, do I like him more than Brees? It's about the same. But hmm, I'm gonna go B plus. Actually, I guess I do like him more than Brees now that I think about it.
The only thing I have to tell you, Chris, is that you can punt quarterback, but you at least have to have one,
I
one
agree with that
solid one.
wholeheartedly. I agree
And the fact
wholeheartedly.
that like this is the perfect place to go get that one.
Yes, I agree with that wholeheartedly. And since you
So
drafted, we'll get to that later. He drafted St. Brown though. I'm gonna get to the St. Brown pick. He should have got
yeah,
golf in round 5.
yeah. I'm gonna give this a B as well.
All right. And then next pick, me.
Bully
Is
got
that the
Baker
trade?
Mayfield.
Oh, Bulls went Baker. I love the Baker pick here.
Yeah, I
Uh,
agree. Yeah, Baker has done well. I think he's improved all the last 3 years.
hmm
Um, I don't see him having a 40 touchdown season again,
I agree, but I think
but
the yards will be there. 4,500.
yeah, 4,500, 30 to 35 touchdowns. He's still going to be a top or a quarterback one.
Yeah, probably top 8,
Um,
10.
to me, this is an A minus.
I got A minus as well. That pick hurt my soul. That's the pick I wanted badly. So once he took him, I was looking at Henderson because Henderson's someone I did value earlier. So Baker and Henderson are two players I looked at like, dang, these players are sliding down the board. Uh, but I wanted to take a quarterback here. So since I
Yeah,
was going to take a quarterback, I knew Kev was already had Mahomes. I'm like, Kev finna take JJ at the turn. I traded back just a few spots, and I still got the same quarterback I want anyways. So I did trade it with Dan here, traded back a few spots, and what did I get in return? A second?
second.
Yeah, I got a second round pick. So I got the same quarterback I wanted, just traded back. I could have talked to Chris and made a trade with Chris, but Chris's team was
Nope.
actually looking too spooky. I could not let Chris get Travion Henderson with that win now stuff going on. Cause what was it? I forgot what it was. But also, I would have been still behind you, Dan. And I think you
Yeah,
said, I forgot who you said you were going to draft. But you sound
I
trying to
think I
say
told you
there's,
I was taking quarterback.
yeah, I think you did. So it's like, yeah, you take T Lar, son. I don't know. We'll have to see. But either way, made the trade. Dan got Travion Henderson here. Love this pick. What are you giving it, Dan?
I'm gonna give it a B plus.
Oh my goodness, Dan. What are we doing? You traded up for a B plus pick, Dan?
Yeah,
Oh, dang. I got A minus, by the way. Uh,
I just
but
think that I don't know. His first season, I feel, is gonna be very mid.
ooh,
I think Ramondre does play a role. But like it's just tough because his bye week is so late
yeah, week 14 is awful.
that we don't know like what's gonna change and when it's gonna change.
That's fair.
So yeah, I think it's gonna be a slow start, but eventually he'll catch on. I think year 2 and year 3 though, it's gonna be a complete boom.
All right, now we have Kev with Xavier Worthy here.
Uh no, I don't know how to feel about Xavier Worthy.
Yeah,
uh
it is a tough one.
I feel like Xavier Worthy is a better best ball receiver than a dynasty or redraft receiver.
I agree with that as well. So for the people that don't know the difference between best ball and dynasty or redraft, dynasty and redraft, you got to set your lineup every week. So you got to pick and choose when they play. In best ball, you don't set your lineup. So what happens is they fill in your lineup automatically with whoever scored the highest points at that position. So for example, Jameson Williams in a redraft league where you got to actually manage your team, he might give you 31 week, but he was on your bench, and then like, so you played him next week, and he only gave you 5 points. It's like, what the heck? In best ball, if that 30 point was high enough to be your wide receiver one, two, three, or your flex, he automatically goes in your lineup, right? You don't have to adjust or anything like that. I agree with that about Worthy. I think he will be very boom bust depending on weeks and all that. Uh, like we look last year, he had a week where he got you -1 points against Tampa Bay. He followed that week up with 2 points. So no
Yeah.
way you're playing him, right? The next week. Came back the next week after those duds and gave you 17 points. So like it's like, oh what the heck, bro. So in best ball, like you said, I think that's a better thing to have than it is in redraft. We have to see. But I'm not huge on Worthy, but I don't hate him.
I think it's a B for me.
I got B minus. So all right. Now we're going on to round five. Round five. Kev goes J.J. McCarthy. We knew this homer pick was happening.
Yep. We called it literally from the time we did our first couple mocks, right?
Yeah.
And I will say, Kev, it's awful. It's awful. When you have players still on the board like Purdy, Goff, Lawrence,
Yeah, I
you
agree.
just don't go with the JJ. You
I
just don't.
agree. Caleb just
Even you
threw a
can even
Hail
go
Mary
further.
TD.
You can go Dak. Yeah, it's awful.
Dang. I'll take J.J. over Dak. I know that sounds crazy, but rushing upside now at this point of their career, it's 6 point per passing TD actually now that I think of it, so it don't matter too much. But
I don't know. He
uh,
just did tear the meniscus in that knee, so you never know.
yeah, we have to see. I
Um,
don't like the pick though over those
I
other
think this is a
quarterbacks.
C straight up.
I agree. I gotta get. I'm gonna go C plus. I think I believe in KOC and Justin Jefferson enough and Addison and Hawkins. He got so many weapons around him. I think he's
Yeah,
the worst quarterback out of the draft class. I felt that like when the draft class got drafted and all that. And but he got the best situation. I feel like so it's like, bro,
yeah,
you suck there, you just gonna suck in general. I don't know what to tell you. Cause Sam Darnold looked really good there last year. But
yeah.
now we're going over to Brock Purdy. This is a pick I actually made, and then I ended up trading with Mike later on. But on a 1-for-1. But Brock Purdy here at the 5-2. Much better
Um,
pick in my opinion.
I might be the only one that thinks Brock Purdy is overrated.
What?
Like I just think he's maybe played above his like ceiling, and I just don't think he's a good quarterback. But
Wow.
he had the one good year.
One good? Damn, he averaged 20 points per game last year with no McCaffrey, really. And like no Ayuk. Debo was trash. You see what I'm trying to say? Like 20 points per game where everything's going wrong is really good in my opinion. And he's still only 25. And he just got the bag. No trade clause. So he's going to be there for the next 3 years at least, you would assume. You don't like Purdy?
I don't like him, but
Wow.
to each his own. I mean, I can't say it's a bad pick. I'm gonna give it a B.
Wow. All right, I got B plus for it. Now we're going over to, what's the next one? I'm putting in the notes.
Aaron Williams at the 5-3.
Kyron Williams at the 5-3. This pick should have been Jared Goff. Chris got big balls for going no quarterback.
Yeah,
Uh, it should have been a quarterback here. You take Goff, that's good. You take T-Law, that's good. Goff for the stack. T-Law in general, I think is good. Oh, by the way, I forgot to say this about Kev. Kev got Worthy, I guess, to stack it with Mahomes. So I don't think that's a bad. I forgot to even incorporate that. That really doesn't change my opinion about it. I thought Worthy probably should have went there regardless. So yeah, I'm not gonna say anything. Uh, but then this is Kyron. Kyron is in contract talks. But Kyron has
yeah,
fumbleitis. I think with them drafting a running back the past 2 years, I think Kyron's a
yeah.
volume guy, where
I
the
think
volume gets
his
cut. He's
agent also has fumbleitis, and I don't think the deal gets done.
wow. Oh, risky.
Making this a scary pick because if he leaves LA, you don't know what's gonna go on.
Yeah. I don't think he's as good as the well, he finishes what? Back to back top seven running back seasons? Yep,
Yeah,
back to back top sevens. So number seven back to back years. And even in 2023, super impressive. It was like 21 points per game.
very strong touchdown score.
Exactly. Uh I mean, averaging a touchdown a game, well, over a touchdown a game, the past 2 seasons. So, eh. I think he's system based because McVay just uses a lead back like 75, 80% of the snap count or more.
Yeah,
Uh, in a different system, I'm not sure he could beat out another talented running back. We had to see. We had to see. I'm not huge on Kyron, But I mean, it's tough to hate on the pick. B minus.
I'm gonna give it a B minus right now,
I
but
agree.
if the contract ever goes through, B plus.
I agree. That's fair. I don't think it goes through though, and I think a quarterback would have been a way better pick here for Chris.
Yeah, definitely.
Uh, but yeah, I got B minus. All right, next pick is Bully Boy, and he takes Jared Goff here. So this is Bull Sun's third quarterback, and this was incredible. I did not know. This is Bull Sun. Pen and paper is out. A true student of the game, saying, "Let's play Monopoly. I'm hoarding the top quarterbacks." He gets his third elite quarterback: Stroud, Baker, Goff. Somebody will have to go talk to Bully Boy. And I told Bulls the best time to do it. We'll see when Bulls will do it. We will see. But I think Bulls is a true student of the game. I'm not worried about Bulls. I think this is a great pick. Now, what do you think of it, Dan?
I think it's a great pick. I have the other shares of Jared Goff and all of our other dynasties, so it hurts me to see him on another team. Um, I also knew that I had to go quarterback early because he would not be there, round 4 or 5 for me,
Uh-huh.
or actually no, round 5. Um, with Bulls, he has to make sure that he pulls the trigger at the right time.
I agree. It is a timing thing here.
Because if he doesn't, I feel like that's conceding this season.
That is fair as well.
Because drafting a quarterback in the 5th round and not being able to use him for most of the season, if he kept him for a whole season, is rough.
Indeed, it is. There will be a time where ideally you make the pick. I did the three quarterbacks early as well, but three in round 7. You're taking your third in round 7. It's like, or was it round 6? It was round 6, I think. I think it's a little bit
Yeah.
different. And I also didn't take my first run in round 3. So my stretch started a little bit later. My 3-run quarterback run started later and then ended later as well. So we'll see. But Jared
Um,
Goff here. I did like that pick a lot. If Chris would have took it, I would have gave it an A minus. I almost want to give it an A minus as well. But it's
I have it
different
as
since
a
it's
A
a third one.
minus.
All right, I'm gonna say we're grading it different because it's a third quarterback. but I do have it as A minus. Jared Goff right there. I think is a terrific pick. Now we're going on to Roma Dunze. This is by Lane. Another risky
I told
pick.
Montana in the previous video that Rome Odunze is going to be a bust.
Oh my gosh.
I think that's one of my. I don't know if it's a hot take, but it's going to be one of Dan's hot takes.
All right.
Um, it's tough because he's like a prototypically like well-built receiver.
Uh huh.
I just don't know if he's gonna put it together.
Mm.
Because like a lot of people say, oh, like last year's rookie season, whatever, yeah.
Mm.
But he played so much.
Yeah.
And for it to not improve from like week 1 to week 18 is a problem. In fact, I think if you go look at his last like from week 12 to 18, he got worse.
That's fair.
And it's like,
Uh.
how do you get worse after at the end of the season? I don't get that. So
Yeah. After the bye week, you thought he would have improved. The only good week he had 2 good weeks after the bye week, I say. And one he had 2 touchdowns against San Fran. So 4 catches, 42 yards, 2 touchdowns. The other one he had 104 catches. I mean, excuse me, 104 catches. Wow,
jeez.
104 yards, 5 catches. But like he's on the field so much. Where with JSN, I remember I compared Rome to JSN. After JSN's rookie year, it's like, yo, they're giving Jake Bobo stats over JSN. I'm like, this is troll.
Yeah.
So like, if JSN actually plays, then he could produce. Whenever you look at the yards per route run factor and all those metrics, you see that he's really good. He's getting open. Whenever he's on the field, he's doing well. He's separating. They just don't use him enough. Rome, they used him a lot. He just didn't produce. So now you're hoping the efficiency goes up. I think efficiency is tougher to get up than just volume. By
It almost makes you wonder. I'm gonna have to like. I really want to look at his like perception or reception perception.
mhm,
I wonder if he was used more as like a field stretcher and like just used as a decoy.
decoy, yeah,
I
uh,
know DJ was playing the X, so
yeah. We'll have to
but yeah.
see. But I'm not
Also,
huge on the
like
Rome pick.
DJ,
Mhm.
DJ's still there, so that's not gonna change anything.
Yeah.
Um,
And then they added
but
more
yeah,
competition. I got B minus for it.
I
I
got B
seen Rome
minus
go
as well.
in round 4 and stuff. I don't like Rome in round 4. In round 5, it's not awful,
Bad.
but uh, Lane got a risky squad, bro.
Yeah.
I'm not really liking how Lane's squad is coming along right now through these first 5 rounds, but let's continue on. We got Cam Ward next. This is by Dylan. Uh, Not the quarterback I would have took here personally.
No, I think there's other quarterbacks you take, but also we don't know what Cam Ward is capable of. Um, like I said, quarterback's just a position where it's hard to predict, especially
Hmm.
rookies. Um,
I
so in
got B
that
minus.
case, I'm gonna give it a B,
Okay.
just because there is a chance that he is good.
I really do like how he got number 1 though. Like that means a lot. That's why like neighbors went up so high on my boy. I should have drafted more neighbors. When they
The
gave
thing
him
that I
number
like
1.
most about Cam Ward
Mhm.
is his like mentality, the way he talks about football,
Yeah, I
the
agree with
way
that
he feels
wholeheartedly
about
too.
it.
Yeah, he's definitely somebody I want to see be very
Shout out
successful.
to Shadur because he made him look way better.
Oh yeah, without a doubt. Imagine you had Cam Ward. You went had a meeting with Cam Ward, interviewed him, whatever, and then you go Shador right after. Oh my goodness! Or
Yep.
even going from Jackson Dart to Shador. You know, Jackson Dart. What do they say about the white people? They're like, somebody you let your daughter date.
Oh
Then you go
man.
to Shador right after. Like, oh man. No, let me chill. All right. So we got B and B minus for Cam Ward. Then we got Trevor Lawrence right after. T Law, the prince that was promised.
Okay, so this is a 1-for-1 trade.
Yeah, it's just a 1-for-1.
What was the thought process behind it then?
So the reason I got Purdy is because I expected to get Niners later, and I did end up getting Niners later. That makes sense. The reason I did the 1-for-1 trade is like, you know what, bro? I just want to put all my eggs on T Law in the basket. I kid you not.
Yeah.
So T Law would be on my money league. He would be in my regular league. He would be my keeper league quarterback. T Law will be in every. I'm living and dying by T Law this year, Dan. I kid you not, Dan. He will be on every team I own. So that's the decision I ended up going with. So like I kind of did a 2-for-2 and like when they asked for it. But truth be told, I wanted to be at the turn at around 6-7 more than I wanted to be up in the middle of round 6. Because then I feel like I would reach for
Yeah.
a player, or then had to like negotiate more trades and trade back. And I already got tired of trading up and down. And you see what I'm trying to say? So that's how I just did the 1-for-1 to make it simple. Look at Henry Ruggs. Career might not be over. Good news for Henry Ruggs. I just saw this thing. Ah.
Oh god.
Eligible for parole in August 2026. Ah. All right.
I think T Law is a B plus.
B plus. I got B plus as well. All right. Now we're going over to the next pick.
Chase Brown by Sway.
Such a tough pick in my opinion, or a player to evaluate. He was
Sometimes
so
when
great
I
last year. Uh-huh.
sometimes when I think of Sway, I think he just does things for shock factor.
Oh my, he probably does.
Like I know Sway likes Josh Jacobs better than Chase Brown. I know that for a fact.
Yeah,
And
I
so the
probably.
fact that he picked Chase Brown over Josh Jacobs, that's just him wanting us to talk on him. That's it.
I can see it. Yeah. Uh,
I
they
don't think
both.
it's a bad pick,
Uh-huh.
but I'm going Jacobs or McCaffrey over him.
Wow, McCaffrey's risky. You gotta have big balls for the McCaffrey play. I'm gonna Chase Brown a B.
I agree.
All right. Next up we have Terry McLaurin by Britt. Older wideout here.
Didn't think he was this old because he hasn't been in the league long. Um, I think he has a similar season because I don't think Debo takes away much.
13 touchdowns is a lot for what 82 catches. He never been a touchdown guy, but granted, he never played in an offense nearly as good. Had a quarterback nearly as good. Besides greatness, but that's a whole different story. Uh, huh.
I think even if he loses 3 touchdowns, he's still a good player. 3 to 5, he's
He's
still
been very consistent.
in top 12.
77 plus catches, over 1,000 yards every year,
Are you worried at all that this is like a DJ Moore situation where like he has that one good season,
and then
falls
goes
back
back
off,
to what he does, what been doing years past.
or
I
do
am
you
very
think
worried
this
about
is
that.
safer?
Well, I'm worried about Terry McLaurin because of age as well. So I didn't think DJ Moore was gonna fall off. I was actually a huge guy for DJ Moore last year. I thought he would have been better. Uh, it's tough for me to go with the 29, about to be 30-year-old wideout. You sound trying to say on Terry McLaurin?
Yeah,
I don't know. And he doesn't get the contract extension. I'm pretty sure. So,
I think he still has a year in him at least, maybe
all right.
2.
I got B
I'm
minus.
gonna give it. I'm gonna give it a B.
Okay. And then our next one,
Josh Jacobs to Montana.
Josh Jacobs. Okay, Montana here.
Honestly, through the first
B
5 rounds,
plus.
Montana might be one of my favorite drafts.
Well, let's go over the first 5 rounds. I got B plus for the Jacobs pick. I like that one a lot. Jaden Daniels, you gave an A. I gave an A plus. Genty, I gave an S. You gave an A plus. So I'm a little bit higher in the first two picks. Garrett Wilson, I think we gave the same grade to. Probably B plus or A minus, somewhere around there. And then T Mac, Jacobs. Yeah, I think Montana's killing it right now. But here comes the blunder in round 6. But we'll get to that one. And I won't call it a blunder. No, it's not a blunder. But
Um,
hmm
me, Josh Jacobs is better than Chase Brown and Kyron Williams.
I agree.
Based on situation, I think talent, I all of
I agree.
that. The only thing you do worry about he is a
Uh-huh.
um did have a lot of carries last year, but I don't think he hit the 400 mark.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, he was good. Had 337. I'm gonna give this an A minus personally.
All right. And then we got Christian McCaffrey. Oh my goodness. Risky pick here by Dom. But no guts, no glory.
Yeah,
We
Dom is
know how good McCaffrey is. Uh-huh.
quickly building an infirmary.
Uh, yeah. So the thing about McCaffrey, we saw where Saquon went. That's about where Saquon was going last year. Coming off of offensive play, I mean not Saquon last year. McCaffrey gone last year. Come off the offensive player of the year award, um, leading his team to the Super Bowl. The difference is McCaffrey fumbled in the Super Bowl where the Eagles just pub stomped. But that's a whole different story. Sorry, Jake. Not sorry. Uh, so when it comes to McCaffrey, I like him a lot. I like him more than you, I think, Dan. But after I've been hearing you say you'll take McCaffrey over this guy and this guy and this guy, and I don't know, Dan. You might be a McCaffrey
I
fan now.
I do like McCaffrey. I do like McCaffrey for the value he brings, like it can potentially bring, I guess.
Uh-huh.
I just think it's for a certain price. Like I'm not gonna pay anything but a late first for him.
That's fair.
And by late first, I mean like late first and then 12 man. So pick 11, 12.
Yeah. Uh,
That's
2 seconds for McCaffrey is what Jake paid. I'm pretty sure to get him, if I'm not
I think
mistaken.
it's valid.
I think it's valid as well. Uh,
And he paid that when he was coming back.
exactly. That's like a
His
mid-season value.
initial
Yeah.
diagnosis.
So now it's another year older. You know, he got injured again, so 2 seconds, like yeah, you get 2 seconds for him now. I thought about offering Jake 2 seconds for him, but it's a tough situation. 'Cause I like McCaffrey a lot. I got a B plus here.
I got a B plus as well.
They have the easiest schedule. I'm not sure you knew that or not.
Yeah,
Easiest
I give it a
schedule with
B
the
plus
Niners.
just based off the potential he brings, but
Yeah,
playing with fire. And once we go down Dom's list, you're gonna see that he starts playing with more and more fire, and eventually you're gonna get burned.
I agree. Now about McCaffrey, I want to say is I think he's somebody that could retire early. Even though he has like the ability, in my opinion, to be like a
Yeah.
Derrick Henry, like somebody like has the talent to play till he's in his mid 30, cause like then he could just become a third down running back specialist or something like that. Uh, I just don't think he does it. I think he gets a. I don't think he ever had a significant injury. What I mean by that is no
Uh,
ACL tear, no Achilles tear, knock on wood, none of that. So if McCaffrey gets one of those, do you think he just retires? I think that's actually a real concern.
I do. If it's like a long term injury, yeah,
Yeah.
I do see that happening.
Yeah, 'cause all his injuries just been like I won't say minor, but like moderate. Where like hamstring strains, severe ankle sprains. He's been out for PCL sprains,
Yeah.
like you know. So I mean, just weeks, but or maybe a couple months, but nothing that been year long. So we have to see. But that's McCaffrey. Now we're going on to the last pick of this round, and that was me. I made this pick when it was me and you, Dan. It was what was it? Oh, we did the trade for
That's
me to
part of
go up
our
and get Drake
swap.
London, and then you got
Yeah.
Bo Nix. So as part of that trade, so end of round five, we closed out. We got Michael Penix here to stack with Drake London, and that's also why I went and did it. I'm pretty sure I did the trade to get T Law after
Uh,
I already had Penix. That makes sense. I just go ahead
yeah.
and stack with my top two players. Also thought about getting Jackson Dart, by the way, to stack with Malik Neighbors.
Uh,
Uh, but I think me and you made a trade later on, so we'll talk about that one later on. But all right.
yeah. So can I just hear?
Uh-huh.
Is this a purely you drafted him based off of the stat? So I want to know: do you have
Do I have Penix
Dak
over
or
Dak?
Penix?
Uh, hmm. That is an incredibly tough one. I did it not just off the stack. The stack was a slight factor, but the age construction of my team I was going for, I don't think Dak fits. When I got Neighbors, BTJ in London, and then I also got
Yeah.
T Law. So those are my first four picks. Dak, I think, is too old for that to gel with my team. If that makes sense. So I would have
Yeah.
Dak over Penix, but they're in the same tier. So it wasn't like a. You factor in the team construction and the youth. I think
Hmm.
Penix gets the edge in that regard. Hmm?
Okay. That's fair enough. I think Penix has the ability to become what Dak is now. I think that is his ceiling.
That'd be really good. I'd be happy for that.
Um, I'm gonna give it a B plus.
I'm gonna agree with you. I think that is a terrific situation he's in. He has a true elite number one wideout in Drake London. I have come around on Drake London, and you can say what you want,
Yes.
whatever. But great running back with B John. So I think that's gonna open up play action, which is always a quarterback's best friend and all that. Solid O line over there. Darnell Mooney's a really good wide receiver too. I think he's underrated. Uh, but that's Darnell
I
Mooney.
agree.
Uh, I say I like the pick. I got B plus as well. To get him at the end of round five, I think that's a great spot to get him. Now that will conclude this video. We could do another one, but another round, but the what is it? The game's over. So this boring game with the Bears and the Texans, the Bears won. Montana, you can pinch yourself. You were dreaming, in fact. Uh, what a horrible Super Bowl this was. So we're gonna load up another game if Dan wants to. If not, we can watch Vigilantes. Dan, we could cook on Overcooked, or we could do another round. You got a preference?
I don't know. What time is it?
Oh my
My phone
goodness.
just died.
His phone died. He's ready to give me the I'm tired excuse, y'all. Wait for his phone to come back on. It's 4:20 your time.
Oh, I am tired.
Oh, he gave me the I'm tired excuse. We're out of here, y'all. We're out.